And actually, this goes perfectly with the next question, which is also by Michael, who asked a previous question. And he said, how do you not let uncertainty bother you? So, how do you not let uncertainty bother you? Uncertainty about your health, your mental health. Somewhere we feel like through concern, through worry, through fear, that somehow we'll get a better result. That somehow we'll come to more effective conclusions, decisions, actions. See how that has worked for you in your life. Does concern make you more peaceful right now and later and lead to a better result? Or does it oftentimes lead you to make some crazy decisions and take some crazy action, and it robs you of your peace here and now because you have such a valid concern? Uncertainty is the nature of experience. As I just, as we speak all the time and we just talked about on the call too, you can't even guess your next thought. Even if you say, no, I chose to think this thought, Sunny, and you think of a random thought and yeah, I'm choosing to think this. Notice how that one thing out of the trillions and trillions of concepts in your mind was chosen. What was your process of choosing that one? Or did you just close your eyes and that just appeared and yeah, and had a sense of choosing it, a sense of doing it, a sense of thinking it? Did you know you were even going to think that a second before you thought it? So take a closer look at your own mind, at your experience, and see how it is all just it's just a spontaneous flux of experience. And that is ultimately what you love most about life. You love the adventure aspect of it. We hate when life becomes boring and repetitive and it just we have an expression that the life has been sucked out of this. It means the freshness, the creativity, the spontaneity has been sucked out of it. So until you come to terms with the uncertainty of life, you'll just cling and you will resist and you will experience that as suffering. And you will rest, or not really rest, you will hide behind these thoughts of concern and fear, and somehow they make you feel sheltered. Like if you're going through all these scenarios in your mind, somehow you're safer, or somehow you'll come to a better decision. All this is an illusion that you have to come to look at by looking at your own mind rather than being so immersed in the contents of it. And this is the clarity. This is the automatic understanding that begins to arise that as you begin to look at the mind, as you begin to be interested in the knower of the mind. That's the cloud thinning. So a good starting point, right? It's not just like, okay, once I meditate for 5 years, then one day I will start doing this practice of not being bothered by uncertainty. No. It's either here or it's not never. And the one place you can start is just being open to however this life may unfold. Perhaps the best case scenario, but also the worst case scenario. Giving that freedom over to life that if that must happen, then it must happen. And then it may happen. Ease the grip of control. Don't be so interested in what happens. This may sound like a crazy idea for some, but that is your own bondage. That is our own bondage, that we are too attached to just what happens, the events of this one. And see if following this teaching makes you careless s- and insensitive and not caring, or if it actually brings back those all those elements that you really love about life, that you look at children and they exemplify those qualities as just enjoyment, fulfillment, excitement, enthusiasm, energy. Because it is all these concerns and fears and worries that are robbing you of your energy. And we don't notice this consciously, but notice how light you feel when you let go of being so interested. And see, letting go of the interest in all these projections and what happens and how it unfolds, it removes thousands and thousands of mental impressions, thousands of thoughts. You're over here trying to change your negative thoughts into positive thoughts, and you're struggling, and you're just doing so hard, working so hard, expending so much energy on even that. But notice how the moment you actually let go of being interested in how this will unfold, sure, have your general plan and you're doing your best to make that happen. You're living your life, you're enjoying, you're doing what you want. But you're giving the fruits of your work, your labor, not just, I'm not saying speaking of work, but just what you do, who you're becoming. That's all. Do it for the enjoyment of it. But the fruits of that, what comes of it, you're completely handing over to life. The timeline that you have in your mind of how, when things should happen and what should never happen, you're letting go of that. And notice how that automatically removes all of these concerns that usually arise as the thoughts that bother you, which you then seek freedom from. But automatically, we're rubbing away, I mean, we're just like taking away the foundation upon which all those millions of concerns rest. Now you can finally be authentic. You can exemplify, and you don't even have to do this. Now, naturally, your life will be spontaneous, exciting, creative. Sometimes people say, I'm not creative. Everybody is, it's just your nature to be creative. And life is creative. Because we have created all these structures around us, it has become repetitive, it has become predictable, yet still, it's still unpredictable. Yeah, we do our best. We want to know when the next holiday is coming around, the next vacation, when the week is over, when I will retire, when I should be married by. We have all these compartments for life that we try to put an ideal life in. All these are boxes that still we fail to put life in. And the last 2 years have just been a great example of that. You will never know what's coming. So one who resists this uncertainty, or one who looks at uncertainty as a negative word, lives in bondage to the uncertainty, fears, and further grows unconscious, meaning further becomes immersed in the dream of appearances when things happen to it. One who eases off, one who embraces the uncertainty, starts to experience and embody the freedom that comes with it, and ultimately sees that there is nothing to be afraid of. Fun fact, some of you may know this. Uh, it was actually this one chapter in a book that I read very early on. The chapter was called "The Wisdom of Uncertainty." It's in the book Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. That was the chapter that resonated so much with me at that time, and that's what really motivated me to let go of the current path that I was on, that I was at a secure job and all that stuff, and really find what I really wanted to do at that time, which seemed like a really daunting task. It may not sound like much, but at that time for me, it was the biggest decision I took at that time. And before the name Personal Mastery Quest, it was called The Wisdom of Uncertainty. So there's wisdom in uncertainty. This wisdom, which is not a mental intelligence. It is the intelligence of the universe, you can call it. And that is what we become receptive to as we thin the clouds away.